We're ready for Coach Bennett. We'll start in front with Jeff White and then Mike Barber.
So how do you win a game against a good opponent when you go 1 for 11 from the line?
And you get a technical foul, that gives them 2 more points, right? I think there were some good individual shots and plays made offensively and defensively, but overall our defense just had to kind of toughen up and make them earn everything. And then when we ever broke down defensively, if we weren't quite right, again, a good offensive team, they made us pay, and they certainly missed some open shots, but it was a physical game, and obviously to do that with that kind of free throw shooting, I think it leaned on into our defense. The crowd was, into it as well. We needed it all.
Wait.
Tony, you were understandably not pleased with the defense on 3-point shots against Pittsburgh. How much better was your perimeter D today, and then particularly beeping on Salas? How big was that matchup?
Yeah, we were quicker to shots. We weren't getting as attached as we did against Pitt. Quicker, had more urgency. Our recovery, I think we worked hard for the 2 days of being in a stance and ready, but recovery with quickness. But sliding hard. There has to be legitimate effort on the ball, and then if they ball screen to beat it, and then get back in front, and then that frees up the other guys, and there's got to be a sense of urgency in your closeouts, your recoveries, and again, they do a good job of spreading and really driving you hard, so you got to try to hold your drive line and just work, so it was better and needed to be.
Okay, David Teal.
Tony, coming out of the last TV timeout, I forget what the score was, maybe you're up 1. Isaac had not made a 3 all day, and you clearly drew up something, got him free there on the right corner for the 3-pointer that he made. What was that said? Who called it in the huddle?
Yeah,
Just
it's just
walk us through that.
Yeah, just an action that, we set a lot of off-ball screens, ball screens, and just, it's one of those actions that you look at to try to get a clean look. We had used it, and I thought there might be an opportunity, and if it wasn't there, we just would play on, but that was a big time pass by Reese and a big time shot by Isaac that we needed, obviously, with the way we were at the free throw line and gave up a couple of the offensive rebounds, so it's just an action we felt was time.
Okay, Greg and then Mike.
Yeah, I think it was your first technical foul since 2010. That's
Yep.
a long time.
Yep.
What was said, and I guess what was your biggest point of contention?
I thought Hildreth had traveled on the play. I thought he had carried it and kind of traveled, and I said, call the leaping foul. And he heard me, and I asked him, I said, why'd you call it? He said, because you cussed at me. And I said, all right, I guess I deserve that, but every time a coach in our league is dropping a cuss word, there'd be a lot of technicals. So, but I shouldn't have said that. I really shouldn't have. That was classless on my part. It's just the heat of the moment because it was a big possession. I thought Garden. I thought he had traveled. I watched the tape. I might be wrong. And again, I shouldn't have said that the way I said it to him, but it just it came out. So he had heard that, and that's why he said he gave me a T. And so my esteemed buddy here, colleague, we're tied for technicals. He got one in the 7th grade game, Bach did, and now I got one here, so we're tied in the technical fouls for the season here. He might have more than one this year, though he only has one. So, but I really felt bad about it, but because I was like, points were at a premium. That was 2 points, and last time I did that, that was my first year. We ended up losing that game, and I didn't want us to, although had we made the free throws, it would have been a little different. But yeah, it's just one of those bang plays, and it was a physical game. And again, what was said was said. Should have done it. Yeah, move on.
Okay, Mike and then we'll take one.
Tony, I know it's hard to immediately look ahead, but you guys play Tech on Monday. You've already matched up with them once. They're another team that can spread the floor and get going from 3. So how important was the step you took defensively, and how important will that be against Tech?
Obviously at a premium, it'll be a very intense atmosphere. I mean, this is, you just have to do that. You can't, the rest of our schedule, it's been good all year, but these teams are tough, anything on the road. And the opponents we're playing, you got to be right defensively. If you're not, we can't just, we did at Florida State. We kind of won a little more with our offense, and hopefully there'll be some of those games, but we got to keep bringing that defensive. Make them earn. If they're hitting the tough shots, so be it. Making them earn.
Right?
Tony, I know you guys are a lot different of a team than you were when you played them a month ago, but what was the difference against Hunter Salas? He controlled the game
But, yeah.
in Winston and today?
Well, there was I thought Reese had a heck of a game. We matched him up, so you had to have some good individual slides defensively today, but there also was team. I thought Ryan defensively was terrific with some of his blocked shots. He had 7, oh my gosh. Blocking shots, grabbing some key rebounds for us. And then, the other guys, I actually thought Andrew Brody guarded well. And Blake gave us a big lift, and Isaac so was there. But particularly against Salas, is that how you pronounce his last name? Okay. He just tried to make him earn, because he's such a prolific scorer. He did torch us last time we were there.
Okay, give it to Jeff.
Yeah, Tony, you still have 5 games left in the conference, but how much was this, for want of another phrase, a must-win for you?
Yeah, I mean, every game's important. We've tried to, again, I know the narrative on the ACC, and I hope there's enough common sense by the selection committee when it all comes down, when they get behind closed doors and they're talking and saying, all right, let's look at this. Let's look at leagues. Let's look at the quality of the teams and how they're playing. That it won't matter. But right now, it's just like the loudest voice. It's kind of, it's heard. But I hope common sense, that's their job on the committee. Look at the quality of the team. Yes, you can look at metrics, but don't be fooled. There is an eye test, there's a quality test, and you look at, what's going on in our league, and it's good, and even against other opponents in other leagues. So, that being said, every game's important. You're always playing for them. I mean, the Pitt game was important. We positioned ourselves to get into this spot, to hopefully qualify for a postseason tournament, be in a race for a league thing, and our job is to fight like crazy to not disqualify ourselves for that. And all we can do is lock into that qualitative process and not get caught up. We gotta win this, we gotta win that, but you better play at a high level. And all the games left are that. But common sense should prevail when it comes to the selection committee.
Okay, time for 3 more. Jeff, Preston, and Jerry.
Would you have envisioned when Reese was in his first year that he would grow into the kind of player who at times could put the team on his back offensively and make plays the way he did today and has done so often this year?
His pass, a lot of things he did well, but his pass, we ran another action. He saw that pass, he almost threw over Blake where Ryan tried to get the tip. But this was he tested, he saw, where it was. I hope people, when it's all said and done, look at him and say, man, how much he's improved. This to me is important for his development and his future. He's having to do things and get stretched because of the spot he's in, and we need him, and his game is improving in all areas. And I think it's significant. And again, it's the process. The guy in his first year played a lot. He's just gotten better and better. Now he has to do more things and stretch himself. So those who have eyes, let him see. And I think he's, when the time's right, he's going to make someone pretty happy.
Okay, Preston.
Yeah, Tony, just looking at, there was a possession in the second half when Hunter Salas got switched off Reese to Ryan Dunn, and just kind of, what is that communication like between them? Just not, obviously they're great athletes, but how they see the game defensively.
Yeah, I mean, I think, those are 2 of our most experienced players, of course, Reese is, and then, we talk about that with Isaac and Ryan, but, so much of defense it's about heart and hustle, but it is about anticipation, communication, and being continuous. And, at times we stop and we pause and it's no good. You can't do that. And so I thought Ryan was active tonight. I thought he was, for the most part, he made that young man work Hinson for Pitt to hit some tough shots. But I thought he even had an extra level of readiness, and he knew we needed help. And then again, Reese and him, their communication was good, but it's about being continuous and anticipation. Those are hard things, but you got to do it.
Okay, we'll squeeze in 2 more. Jerry and then.
Blake was a huge stick back there that gave you the lead. Just how important is it going forward with him down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, almost piggybacking how I answered, he is continuous. He's quick-footed. He's getting more comfortable, and you need his length and his quickness. And they had 2 bigger guys playing, or Carr obviously Efton Reed, and then when they brought in Marsh. So, but I thought Blake was helping us out, and he made a couple. That when he could have dunked, he shot the floater, but his baskets were timely and important. And again, 4 offensive rebounds. Those things all matter. And so I thought he did a nice job.
Last one.
Coach, you mentioned physicality a couple of times. Hildreth and Carr really struggled today. How much was your physicality a part in their struggle?
We just tried to guard. It was a physical game, you know, the refs allowed us to play, and they drive hard, they're physical. We tried to be, we're just tried to be in position and work, and you didn't have a choice. And I hope, you know, I'll watch the film, I hope we did stand in there, hold our drive line, and just, again, the energy of the crowd and their effort and will or mindset allowed us to be, because, you know, we're not going to win any bodybuilding contests. Maybe a couple of guys would have a 6th or 7th place on a team, but we're not the biggest, strongest, and we're young, but there's nothing, you can't measure heart and position and willingness, and I thought we had that tonight in terms of our defensive being set and ready.
Well, Coach Forbes, next.